What's up, everybody? Brian Engelman here, broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, California, Los Angeles, to be specific. What is going on, everybody? It's Turkey Day week. Yeah, it's Thanksgiving week. It's Turkey Day week. It's the week of Turkey Day, and it's the week of the big game. That team up north, and these fellers who actually have an inside track to make the playoffs, which is pretty cool. Obviously, a few things would have to happen, but it's very possible that they could. And so then I think you might be looking at a Pac-12 team champion with 2 losses versus an Ohio State team with 2 losses. Obviously, if we're to get through the Big Ten championship game and through that team up north, I mean, those are 2 big accomplishments. Our playoffs have essentially started right now. We're already in the playoffs. So that just is what it is. I did read a report. I read a story that the Cleveland Browns are mathematically eligible for joining and jumping into the playoffs. I think it's something like they have to win the remaining 6 games on the schedule, and 54 additional things would have to happen. Mandatory. 54 things would have to happen. Let's see. Scott is watching. Bring them on camera. Oh, Scott, we're getting a message. Facebook is saying, bring you on camera. Do you want to join the show? Let me know. So I got different cameras here. If you're watching on this one, we're watching live on Facebook. There's a private group called The Unhappy Hour Sports Show, a support group. As long as we can verify you're an Indians, Cavs, Browns, or Buckeye fan, we will let you into the group. It's doubled recently. It's up to 1.4 thousand people. A lot of rabid sports fans where we just love sharing the stories and talking about the stories. It's an interactive sports center kind of thing that we have, and a lot of us are homers. It gets funny when someone's, like Clint. He's a Cavs fan, but he's also a Schittsburg fan. Or, I don't know. I could go through my whole list. But there's a lot of people who are fans of weird teams. Like John Toburin. He's a Cavs fan, but he's also a fan of that team up north for some reason. And the Tigers. Go figure. Anyhow, Josh Gordon is back. And I want to talk to you about it because I think it's kind of a big deal. Let me pull up the article here. All right. Cleveland Browns coach Hugh Jackson said the return of wide receiver Josh Gordon at the practice field is like Christmas. I get to open a new toy, Jackson said Monday after Gordon had worked with quarterbacks on the field for the first time since his conditional reinstatement November 1st. I know what is in that box, but I just want to see how good it is. It is exciting that he will be back out there. Oh, what's in the box? Reminded me of Brad Pitt in Seven. Not funny. Not a funny scene, but anyhow. So Josh Gordon will be able to practice all week. The Browns could activate him from the commissioner's exempt list as early as November 27th, but have to make a decision on him by December 4th. If the Browns activate him November 27th, his first game since December of 2014. First game back will be December 3rd in Los Angeles, my backyard, against the Chargers. Yeah, we're going to have Eric Metcalf coming, having a big party out here. So interesting times being in Los Angeles. Is the only Cleveland-centric, Los Angeles-based sports show that I'm currently aware of. Very interesting indeed. So this one is for you, Josh Gordon. This is called the Unhappy Hour. Look, there's no way around it, folks. No way around it. I've been a bartender. I've gone by the name Brian the Bartender before because it's easier to get people to remember you the first couple times. And the more they remember you, the more they tip you. And that's kind of one of the main origins, one of the main reasons why the show is called The Unhappy Hour. Because essentially, if your team didn't win the championship, you got something to complain about. Heck, I mean, at this point, Patriots fans are probably complaining, oh, that last Super Bowl, I can't believe we had to come back. You just... so yeah, that's what The Unhappy Hour is. It's focused on a group of friends. You get together at the pub, at the bar, and you talk. You talk about sports, and this is a virtual pub. So today is the day that we're going to celebrate. I understand, and I just thought about this in post-production before I went live on the program. I thought, ooh, is it in poor taste to do a shot and say cheers and say congratulations, Josh Gordon's coming back because of his substance abuse problems? Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that if that were the intent of what I was doing. I'm just saying cheers, congratulations to all Browns fans out there. And I am this weird eternal optimist. Yeah, I'll laugh at the Browns being terrible. I'll make as many jokes and be as self-deprecating as the next person, but I still believe, I always believe. I don't know what it is. It's just something magical about football. The team I was on, all losses. The first year I ever played, we lost every single game. And then in the last game in the mud, we got one touchdown, and it was barely enough, and we won. And that was enough to build on for 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and then my senior year. I loved playing football. It was kind of exactly what I needed in my life. So I think of the lessons I learned, and I thought of the growth process and fighting and struggling through adversity. And I always feel like the Cleveland Browns have the opportunity to get past whatever curse, whatever vex, whatever this thing is. I'm gonna smudge. Maybe I'll get this thing going. Smudge the house. I actually do think I am going to do that. But to smudge the toxic energy away from the Cleveland Browns. I think I will do that. Good idea, Brian. And who knows, maybe Josh Gordon is the one playmaker that could turn it all around. The defense is strong enough to win. Yeah, they lay some duds from time to time, but who doesn't? Nobody's perfect. So anyway, we had to call Josh Gordon. We had to call to represent. We had to call on behalf with an inquiry regarding Josh Gordon to the NFL Commissioner's office. Multiple times we called Commissioner Goodell. And in the voicemails, the lengthy voicemails that we recorded and posted in previous shows, we asked, if for a league that's trying to be at the forefront of all these social issues, what in the world are you still suspending a player for non-performance enhancing drugs for? But this is the same league that's suspending Ezekiel Elliott, even though the Columbus Police Department didn't find any information that could lead to a charge, meaning he couldn't be proven to have committed what he was accused of doing. And the NFL just said, we want to judge you. We want to suspend you. So it is a weird system with Commissioner Goodell, and it is starting to rear its head, because what you have happening now is, there we go, Jerry Jones. I hope this doesn't start playing autoplay. I hate autoplay. Okay, so the NFL's Compensation Committee has denied Jerry Jones' request that the league's owners be allowed a final vote of approval on Commissioner Roger Goodell's contract extension, according to a report by the Wall Street Journal. The committee also reiterated Monday that Jones should drop his threat to sue the league over Goodell's deal, saying in a letter obtained by the Journal that the Dallas Cowboys owner's dispute with the commissioner reflects conduct unbefitting an owner and is damaging to the league. Atlanta Falcons owner Arthur Blank, the chairman of the six-person committee. Six-person committee? How do you not have an odd number on the committee? Who's the tiebreaker? Yeah, who's the Anthony Kennedy? Anyway, Arthur Blank responded to Jones' request for a vote by citing a May resolution in which the 32 owners unanimously gave the committee authority to negotiate Goodell's extension. So Jones threatened to sue the league if the committee approves an extension, saying it should be reviewed and approved by all owners. Current deal by the commissioner is set to expire after the 2018 season. So you have a situation now. Jones has been upset with how the league was handling Ezekiel Elliott's 6-game suspension for violating the personal conduct policy, even though the Cowboys running back was not charged by authorities in Columbus, Ohio, who investigated allegations of domestic violence by a former girlfriend. Hello to Michael in the group. You can leave comments if you're watching live. I'll try to pay attention and get to them. Hello, Michael. Give you a thumbs up there. Give us a thumbs up as well. I don't even know how this works. Get to your questions about draft and free agency. We'll get to that in a second. But anyhow, yeah, so Jerry Jones is involved with the Roger Goodell thing. I had called on behalf of the Unhappy Hour, on behalf of Cleveland Browns fans. I feel like Josh Gordon did plenty of stupid stuff, but he also got a raw deal. And to be basically banned from working in the chosen field for a non-performance enhancing, it just. And then he was on a plane in the off season, and he had a beer on a plane, so he violated a personal conduct policy. Josh Gordon did. So because there were playoff games happening, but he was under the impression that his regular season it was all these goofy technicalities. But he also had a substance abuse problem, and he might always have that for the rest of his life. But I watched something very eloquent from Chris Carter, former Ohio State wide receiver Chris Carter, NFL Hall of Fame receiver Chris Carter. He's in the Hall of Fame, right? But he talked about his early days and his substance abuse problems and his struggles and his turmoil, and it was very good. If do yourself a favor, type in Chris Carter and Josh Gordon, and he had some really powerful stuff to say about hoping that he can turn it around. And Chris Carter is living proof. By the way. We also had something. Sorry, and I'm just kind of giving you an overview of what's happening in the world of sports. I know I want to talk about the Josh Gordon and the Browns, obviously, and I guess we'll get to that. But we'll just leave it at this for now. Josh, we called on behalf of you here at the Unhappy Hour. We called the commissioner's office multiple times to get you back and reinstated. Josh, I drafted you in my dynasty league knowing that you were going to come back. And by the way, there was a whole bunch of controversy because some glitch I don't even know what happened. Some sort of controversy. But I traded for you in the offseason in my dynasty football league. I have been a Cleveland Browns fan since, I remember the strike days in the 80s, which were pretty sweet. Who's that? Don Strock and Gary Pagel and who were all those quarterbacks that we shuffled in during the strike, the scrub days? But yeah, Bernie Kosar. I've been a Browns fan for a long time. I've been through a lot. And when you bust on the scene a few years ago, I put you on my fantasy teams then. And, let's face it. We had the Cleveland Browns looking like an actual team with Brian Hoyer quarterback, sometimes Brandon Weeden at quarterback, with Josh Gordon catching these touchdown passes. So I miss you on the team, man. I really hope you stay away from the fools. I don't know what Greg Little's up to. Definitely avoid the Johnny Manziels. Man, you can make a ton of money. You can make a name for yourself. You can come back, put your head down, get to work, do your thing, man. We need some playmakers right now. So welcome back to the league. As I said, it may be in poor taste to raise a shot glass and do a cheers for you, but this is called the Unhappy Hour. It's what we do. So, cheers. Oh, and if you're sipping on a beverage, a tasty beverage this evening, type it in. Tell us what you're having. Oh, look at that. Dallas is up on the Celtics. Ooh, those Celtics are looking good. That's all right. So did the Hawks. Okay, I did want to get to this. This is the week of the big game. Former NFL wide receiver Terry Glenn died Monday after a one-vehicle rollover accident near Dallas, leaving his fiancée slightly injured. He was 43 years old. Former star at Ohio State, lived in the Dallas area. Ooh, Glenn was ejected. He might not have been wearing a seatbelt then. So dumb. Glenn played parts of 12 seasons in the NFL, 6 with New England Patriots, 5 with the Cowboys, 1 with the Packers. I don't remember him on the Packers. Made the Pro Bowl in '99 in the Patriots. Finished his career 8,800 receiving yards, 44 touchdowns. Which, by the way, is that was Josh Gordon's last half season. 8,800 yards and 44 touchdowns. I digress. I'm kidding, but... Oh, okay. Drew Bledsoe, Glenn's teammate with the Patriots and the Cowboys. Man, Drew Bledsoe. That's how long it's been. Let's think about that. Whew. Well, how long has it been with Tom Brady? He's been our the Patriots quarterback for what? 19 years now? 18 years? 17? However long it's been. It feels like forever. It's hard to remember an NFL without him. But anyway, thoughts and prayers to Terry Glenn and his family. He was a fantastic football player. Absolutely fantastic. 7th overall pick in 96. Helped New England reach the Super Bowl that season. 4,000-yard receiving seasons. 2 with the Patriots, 2 with the Cowboys. Anyway, so that's going on in the world of sports as well. What about Baker Mayfield? I don't know. Brought to tears addressing his action. Hey, look, if we're going to talk about Baker Mayfield, I don't know. I don't necessarily have a problem with it, although planting his Oklahoma flag in Columbus at at midfield, yeah, I got some hoping for some payback with him, but I don't know. Baker Mayfield. They're saying he's the favorite to win the Heisman. Still a lot of season left. To go. And we'll see what happens with him. Okay, Cleveland won today. I'm bouncing all around because, guys, I'm just highlighting what happened in the news today. Obviously, Josh Gordon, I've been sitting on that story for a couple weeks, but he's back. He's practicing. Where was that article? Where the heck was that? Oh, it's over here. That's why. Okay. Wow. Gordon hasn't played since December of 2014. That is absolutely incredible. He's been suspended for the past 2 seasons and for 53 of the Browns' past 58 games because of several violations of the NFL's substance abuse policy. There you go. He's done everything that we've asked him to do thus far. He's working extremely hard. He's excited about being back and having the opportunity. He was on our sideline yesterday, and it was a treat just dialoguing with him, the things he saw, the ways he thinks he can help. To me, that was exciting. And yes, it is exciting. Anyway, congrats. I wanted to get to the standings. I want to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavs trying to get things back on track. Have won 5 in a row, which is better. Sitting at 10-7, 4th in the East. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about any of it. Yeah, Cavs looking better. I got to watch some highlights from today's game. I didn't have a chance to watch it. But I will check that out. Not worried about the Cavs, and Isaiah Thomas is coming back. I mean, just take it easy, Cavs fans. Take it easy. Nothing to get too worked up over. All right, I want to go through some of these questions. If you want to jump into the show, let me know. Type yes, add me to the show, because I can click an add button if you're on here. Michael, what's up, Michael Nemeth? What would you say are the top 2 needs for draft free agency? I'm going to say something that may not be a popular opinion right now. If you want to get me talking politics, I defend unpopular opinions all the time. And by unpopular, I mean just whoever happens to be screeching at me, I continue to debate them. Sorry, I'm just remembering a couple of interesting conversations we've had. But I'm gonna say this. I'm not ready to give up on DeShone Kizer. I saw that boy that young man has the ability to make every throw. He's obviously pressing, and how couldn't you? He's the leading rusher on the team. What is the line opening up without Joe Thomas? What is Isaiah Crowell giving him on the ground? What is his receiving core of? Quick, name me 2 Browns wide receivers. Not named Ricardo Lewis or Corey Coleman. Go. I'll wait. David Njoku, we'll call him a tight end. We'll say that's different. Oh, who just said something? Someone did a little push notification. Adam Michael, Jesse Nash. What's up, everybody who's watching? I don't know. I can't tell who's actually live, but I'm getting a lot of comments. So keep the comments rolling. I'm going to try to get to them. I'm going to say we keep DeShone Kizer. I don't know that we necessarily need to go out and get a quarterback. I understand the appeal of it, But the biggest needs on the Cleveland Browns, we're going to need a left tackle. Depending on how they grade out the left tackle prospects. And I know that's what we tried to do with Cam Irving out of Florida State. We tried to get him. He was a center. And then we tried to move him over to guard, move him over to tackle. I mean, that kid didn't even know what city he was in, let alone what. And he was a noodle-armed. I don't know. I don't understand why we drafted him, but I like the concept of that draft pick. It missed, but I like the concept of it. I think we need to bolster the offensive line. Hands down. We've got Emmanuel Ogbah. We got Myles Garrett. Kind of thinking through the lineup. Probably defensive back. If we could get some sort of stud defensive back, I'd be pretty happy with that. So I've always been a huge proponent of the offensive line. Because if our offensive line is doing the job right, you're never going to have a problem running the ball. You're never going to have a problem with the play action and the run opening up the pass. It helps everything. So I think we should always be drafting top 3 rounds, top 2 rounds. Always get a lineman. Call me crazy. But anyhow, we'll see how that goes. What's up, Greg? Greg saying top 2 needs are. Okay. What? Okay, and a big wide receiver. Well, Josh Gordon is that big wide receiver. We essentially just got him. We drafted him. Again, we got like a supplemental draft pick. We get Josh Gordon back. How did he make it to the supplemental draft? You know why. Everybody knew what he was up to. So a big wide receiver, but what's okay? 2 needs are okay. Place kicker? PK? Sorry, Greg, if you're still in the chat room, tell me what you're thinking there. Michael Nemeth saying Coleman, Gordon, and Njoku could be lethal. Hey, and are we going to slide Ricardo Lewis down to a 3? Because he's done a couple of things. He's shown us a little bit of something. Michael saying one of the greatest at Ohio State University, Terry Glenn. He absolutely was. Okay. There we go. Josh ran a 4.3. Okay. Have you seen what Josh Gordon's up to? I mean, that kid is training. He's looking good. He appears to be in shape. I really hope he has kicked this habit. I really hope he's going to stay on track to working a successful bringing his career back and staying successful in the NFL. Fingers crossed. I mean, am I a betting man? Do you bet on a junkie or do you bet on the drugs? You know? I don't know. He's left a lot of money on the table, and he's still in his prime. He would be a fool to keep up what he's doing. But we'll see. Kyrie Irving says the earth is flat, and he's the one guy that can't play with LeBron James for some reason, even though he's like the most unselfish player and the greatest all-around basketball player the earth has ever seen. Kyrie's the one guy that decides he doesn't want to play with him, so that's cool. All right, Michael saying Mary Kay reported. Okay, I like Lewis in the slot. All right, Ricardo Lewis going into the slot. It makes every one of those positions better. And that's a good thing. I've seen there have been a lot of quarterbacks who have started off. I don't have the list in front of me, so forgive me. I want to say Peyton Manning was terrible. A whole bunch of quarterbacks were really bad, and they let them play the whole first year. And obviously some of these players were, top 5 draft picks, and they gave them, 2 years, 3 years to figure it out. It's different for a second rounder, a third rounder. I got it. And I get that the Browns missed on Cody Kessler. I don't know what they were even thinking, but I think you roll with Deshaun Kaiser. You give him another year. He's a young kid. He has talent. He has ability. You just got to coach him up. And the longer this team is without a win, the worse this is going to be. The morale. An online buddy of ours, Chris McNeil, goes by the moniker reflog_18 on Twitter. Reflog_18. Chris McNeil has decided for the second year in a row to put in for a perfect season parade if the Browns are able to keep the perfect winless season together. You know, that stuff has got to start grating on a player, grating on teams after a little while. So I'm looking for us to get our first win against the Chargers in my backyard, and we'll see how it goes. So, looking forward to the Buckeye game. That team up north, you can never take them for granted. I know Urban takes it seriously. I know he doesn't screw around. But still, the Buckeyes have had an up and down season. They've had a couple of big mistakes, and they've looked pretty great at times. Do I trust them to be a national championship contender? I trust them about as much as I trust any 18, 19, 20-year-old kids being coached by perhaps one of the greatest ever to coach. They got a shot. And this time of the year, if you got a shot, you got a chance. We're sitting in the top 10. We got a couple games left. We'll see how it goes. So, anyway, what else? What else going on in the league? I don't know. I guess really quick, because I haven't talked to you guys in a while. Patriots a couple games up in the AFC East over the Bills at 5-5. Steelers 8-2, running away with the division. 5-5 Ravens sitting at second place. 7-3 Jacksonville Jaguars. 6-4 Tennessee Titans. Okay. The Chiefs are in a bit of a slide. They're leading 6-4. Disappointing Raiders team at 4-6. Chargers at 4-6. All right, Eagles. There's your Carson Wentz. There's the player that the Browns passed up on. 9-1, 5-5 Cowboys. Cowboys will be struggling to get in as a wild card team. They're in the mix. They're in the hunt. Vikings 8-2, Lions at 6-4, Packers at 5-5. Saints at 8-2, Panthers a game back at 7-3, Falcons 5-4 playing tonight. And the Rams, Los Angeles Rams. Fun fact, the Rams started in Cleveland, Ohio. Won a championship. And the Seahawks at 6-3, they're playing tonight. So that's a look across your NFL standings. Of course, the Browns winless. Helpless, hopeless. What was it? In Iceland. Sorry, I'm quoting Princess Bride now. We could talk about this, the Hall of Fame. How about the Baseball Hall of Fame? Chipper Jones. It's an easy one, I think. Who else? Jim Thome, 8th all-time in home runs. Wow. No PED allegations or rumors. Somehow. Scott Rowland. Andrew Jones, okay. Lofton got 0 Hall of Fame support. That's lame. Omar Vizquel. Defensive reputation, winning 11 Gold Gloves, playing more games at shortstop than anybody in history. Weak offense and mediocre career WAR. Wins above replacement. Key performer along with Thome on those powerhouse Indians teams of the late 90s. And also received MVP votes just once in his career, finishing 16th in 99. Really? I don't think of him as the most valuable player. Comparisons to Ozzie Smith will be made. Offensively, he was similar. Smith rates a little better since he played in a lower run environment. But Baseball Reference credits Smith with 76.5 career WAR, blah, 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 blah. That's because the defensive metrics say Vizquel wasn't really in Smith's class with the glove. Baseball Reference rates Smith the number 2 defensive show. Oh, get out of here. Wait, not even in the same class? This reference guide rates Smith as number 2 defensive shortstop of all time, behind Mark Bellinger, with 239 runs saved above average, and Vizquel 12th. Okay, so that is in Smith's class. 12th all time versus 2 all time. Get out of here. An old school versus a new school debate. By the way, I'm reading these articles off of ESPN because I like using their information against them. I love how ESPN is imploding every chance that they get. And the unhappy hour is growing. The author, I think I'm already tired of this old school versus new school debate, and this debate hasn't even started. Well, this guy's on the fence. Johan Santana, Jamie Moyer, Johnny Damon, Chris Carpenter, Brian Fuentes, Levon Hernandez, Aubrey Huff, Jason Isringhausen, Carlos Lee, Brad Lidge, Hideki Matsui, Kevin Millwood, Kerry Wood. Here's some names. Holdovers with last year's vote total: Trevor Hoffman, Vladimir Guerrero, Edgar Martinez, Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, Mike Messina, Kurt Schilling, Manny Ramirez, Larry Walker, Fred McGriff, Jeff Kent, Gary Sheffield, Billy Wagner, Sammy Sosa. The results are announced January 24th, so we will have 2 months to debate this one. What are you guys saying? Oh, let's see. Thome. Yeah, Thome's got to get in. And I think one of the best things Jim Thome has going for him is that he didn't have a performance-enhancing drug revelation. There wasn't a tell-all. There wasn't a positive test. He wasn't corking a bat. Kind of a ho-hum, well, golly gosh, shucks kind of fella. Fun fact about Jim Thome: when I was a senior in high school on our undefeated football team, I played defensive end, and it was fantastic. I loved it. And it was cool. It was not cool that the Cleveland Browns were stolen from us in '96, but they were. And with no Cleveland Browns for people to get excited about, people got really into high school football. And on top of it, our team was undefeated for the second year in a row. We had we had back-to-back undefeated seasons. And so Jim Thome, at the height of 95, 96, going to the World Series, Jim Thome came to one of our games in the stands. He was dating Andrea Passione. I think he married Andrea Passione, a sportscaster who used to come to our practices. But yeah, I think Thome's got to get in, and that's what Michael Nemeth is saying. Omar, yeah, I'm not going to sit and debate over 13 seasons. Sorry, I don't have his stats in front of me. I could pull it up. Here we go. Where do I click on? Hang on, it doesn't have the... I can't click on Omar. That is weird. Sorry, that's really weird. I was just trying to find out how many years he was playing. But anyway, the point is, over the course of X amount of seasons, how many runs did you save based upon average or wins above replacement? Blah, 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 blah. How many times have you seen a player as able to impact a game, as able to dominate a game, and make David Blaine, David Copperfield, basically anybody named David, make magical plays out in that infield? Omar is one of the most cerebral players I've ever seen. He was always playing mind games out there. Smart, always in the right spot. Just a magician with the glove. A straight magician with the glove. So yeah, I'm going to say Omar Vizquel gets in. Hands down. We'll say Omar is in. We'll say Thome is in. And really nothing for Kenny Lofton? Nothing? Maybe it would be different if the Indians got a World Series out of it. Maybe they would be looked at differently. If some of those 95, 97, 99, 07, if some of those teams had actually brought home a title, maybe these players would be looked at a little bit more glowingly in hindsight and retrospect in their careers, in the twilight of their careers. I don't know. But I would have a hard time arguing against Jim Thome getting in or Omar Vizquel getting in. A swing and a drive! To deep right! Man, all of those home runs from those 90s teams. I'm still blown away we never won a championship. It's if I think about it, it'll make me sad. So I'm not going to think about it. Anyway, on to their career. Douglas Huff was what's up, Douglas Huff? Oh, by the way, anybody else watching? Type your questions in. What are you? Anything in the sports world? Oh, how did I not talk about the Donald Trump thing? You know what? Maybe I'll split that one off in post-production, and we'll do a separate show with the Donald. That's a story. That's a thing that happened. Let's do that, shall we? I love when sports and politics combine. I love it. And then sometimes I just don't talk about it, which is ridiculous. NCAA men's. All right, where is it at? UCLA. There we go. What, is it going to be impossible to find this? There we go. Boom, found it. Oh, that's so silly. Okay, the mute is on. The autoplay has commenced. Okay, good. This one is one. All right. Anyone who made more money than the first 50 of all baseball players combined should be Hall of Fame for sure. Yeah. I mean, can you... these guys that were playing sports 50 years ago, 100 years ago, to think that it's turned into this. Oh, speaking of which, if you haven't invested in Bitcoin, maybe you want to take a look into altcoins, alternative currency, by the way. Yes, the first 50 years, not the last 50 years. That would be a difference. What's up, Dave Demalis? Yeah, so, okay, let's do this. In post-production, we can splice the show here. Thanks for watching.